Hello and welcome to another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Glad to have you here with me. And well, we got a few games, four total games. We'll dive into those and see how things went. But first, let's see what's going on in the news. Michael King will be activated on Saturday. He's been out since May 24th. It was an issue with his thoracic nerve. His fastball in his rehab reportedly was down about a tick from his MLB average. So it was around a little bit shy on average of a 93 miles an hour, 92.7 to be exact. And so we'll see where it's at. Obviously, that's maybe not too concerning. That should come back with a little bit more time. He's been out for a long time, but he's expected to be activated from the 60-day IL. Michael King, that is. He will make his start against the Red Sox. Once again, that will be tomorrow, Saturday, when King makes that start. To make room for him, it was the optioning of J.P. Sears, who the Padres just acquired when they traded away their best prospect and one of baseball's best prospects. So that's interesting. That whole trade is very interesting. Like, how are you using Mason Miller? Why is JP Sears already gone? You gave up somebody really, really good. Anyway, that's a whole other diatribe. I'm not going to get into it, but the point is Michael King coming back Saturday against the Red Sox. Staying on the West Coast, outfielder Justin Dean is expected to be selected by the Dodgers. Not official. This is just reported that it is supposed to happen. They just optioned Esteury Ruiz, so that would be the roster spot he's taking on the active 26-man roster. There will need to be a 40-man roster move done as well if they are, in fact, going to select the contract of Justin Dean. If he gets in a game, Dean will be making his MLB debut. He's 28 years old. He signed with the Dodgers in the offseason after spending his entire career prior to that in Atlanta's system. He's cut down on some strikeouts with the Dodgers, as I guess tends to happen. Players tend to get a little bit better. In AAA, Dean was hitting 274 with 25 stolen bases, and he plays a good center field. So it's not likely he's taking on a big role with Los Angeles. He's probably just going to head into that Esteury Ruiz role. It's kind of the exact same skill set. They're just sending Ruiz down and giving Justin Dean a shot. But again, allegedly, not official yet. That's just what's expected to happen, that Justin Dean will be promoted. The Cardinals have claimed Jorge Alcala from the Boston Red Sox. Boston has DFA'd him, and so he is now obviously going to be in St. Louis and join their bullpen. He's had some good outings. He's been a little bit rough this year, as evidenced by a DFA. High walk rates really has been a killer, but interesting enough to watch the situation unfold, because at the trade deadline, the Cardinals bullpen got gutted. So having a reliever who has experience and has maybe some potential to figure it out, if they get a good look at him and they say, hey, you know what, maybe he can get some end of game work. Maybe he'll start getting hold situations. Maybe he'll start even finding himself in a save situation every now and then. Can't expect it, but with the state of the Cardinals bullpen, I guess anything is possible at this point. And the final bit of news, the White Sox are going to select Jacob Amaya. They have DFA'd Gus Varland as the corresponding move. Selecting Amaya comes after they officially put Chase Meadroth on the 10-day IL with a right thumb contusion. This happened a while ago. Meadroth's been out after he got hit in the hand, a couple weeks ago. So they're just officially putting him on the IL and calling up Jacob Amaya. Amaya will more than likely just be serving as a reserve infielder. In his time at the big league level, Jacob Amaya is hitting 144, but he's hitting 291 in AAA. So maybe some of that can translate if he does get playing time. It's not likely he's going to. They have Brooks Baldwin and Colson Montgomery really holding down the middle infield spots, and they just got Curtis Mead, who's taken first base, and that leaves third base for Miguel Vargas. So they can fill their infield out with people who have performed better at the big league level, but maybe Amaya gets a shot. Maybe he starts to hit. He was at one point a decently regarded prospect in the Marlins organization. things have gone downhill for him since then. But if he is back with the White Sox, is the point. Taking a look at the games that we had, again, just 4 games, not a whole lot of highlights to dive into. For the Athletics, Colby Thomas hit his first MLB home run off of Mitchell Parker. Colby Thomas has 32 at bats and is hitting 156 with 19 strikeouts in those 32 at bats with a home run and a steal. That's a lot of strikeouts. He has had his issues with whiffs in the past. Last season, he ended the year at AAA with a 30% strikeout rate. He cut it down to about 26 prior to his call up this year. Obviously, 32 games does not an entire career make. So, grain of salt, but 19 strikeouts and 32 at bats is a little scary. In AAA, though, just if we're taking a look at what his skill set could be, he hit 18 home runs and stole 7 bases before joining the Athletics. So theoretically, if he can start hitting the ball a little bit more, some more things might happen. He could produce in both power and speed categories. But right now, especially in a redraft league, if you're not playing Dynasty, a strikeout rate over 50%, small sample or not, is scary. And he's going to need to cut that down to be relevant outside of like super deep leagues or deep Dynasty leagues. He is rostered in all the leagues I play in, but I only play in deep Dynasty leagues. Tyler Soderstrom for the Athletics is up to 21 home runs after hitting one in the game yesterday. This makes back-to-back days with a home run for him. He actually had the exact same line in both games, too. He went 1 for 4 with a solo shot and a strikeout. He is hitting .258 on the year, but a couple games with homers for Tyler Soderstrom. He's playing left field. Curtis Mead, speaking of, picked up 2 hits for the White Sox, and he stole a base. The question is, will the change of scenery help Curtis Mead? He was not getting regular playing time with the Rays, so getting regular playing time is definitely a plus for him. He's 3 for 9 in his first few games with the White Sox, and I will say, long-term thinking with Curtis Mead, he was a highly regarded prospect, just never really panned out in his time at the big leagues so far. He kind of has some parallels to Miguel Vargas. The changes that need to be made are a little bit different, but with Vargas, I think they had to try to get him some more bat speed, change certain things. Mead already has some pretty good bat speed. So I'm wondering if there is a step forward to be had now that he's in the White Sox organization, but that's more maybe next season, not end of year this year. Still very interesting to see, and I'm very curious as to what changes they're going to make with Curtis Mead to try to unlock the upside that was seen when he was really around a top 50 prospect, if I remember correctly, and that was not too long ago. Randy Arozarena had a really hot month, as he's prone to do. He has cooled off. He hit a home run in the game yesterday, which is good, but he is batting .214 over his last 15 games. However, the power speed threat is still there. 5 steals and 5 homers in that same 15-game span. He's just not hitting it as often, still getting to some power, and when he is getting on base, still able to use his speed. So that is definitely helpful for fantasy baseball purposes, but, just wish the average was a little bit higher, especially if you're playing in average leagues. Do you know who is helping in average leagues? Is Gavin Lux. He picked up 3 hits in the game yesterday, and he's hitting .340 over his last 15 games. Make it .290 if you want to back up to his last 30 games, which is what I want to do, because outside of his average, there's not a whole lot of fantasy appeal to Gavin Lux right now. He is hitting .290, which is good, and this is over his last 30 games. He's walked 10 times, not striking out a whole lot, but he has 0 home runs and 0 steals. He is not getting the counting stats that are helpful, so he's kind of just boosting your average if you are playing in average leagues, and that can be tough for a one-category pony. Graham Pauley went yard for the Marlins. It's the second game in a row. He's off to a really good start in August, hitting .286 with a pair of bombs and only 2 strikeouts across 14 at-bats. He also hit pretty well to end June. Since the All-Star break, he's been really good. It seems like he's locked down the third base job during Connor Norby's absence, and even when Connor Norby returns, if Graham Pauley's hitting like this, the job may not be Connor Norby's anymore. Wrapping up our hitting, Drake Baldwin hit two bombs, both of them coming off Yuri Perez. That brings his season total to 13. The young catcher is continuing to look like a top end catcher of the future, hitting 287 on the year. All I can say is that this guy rakes. We should call him Rake Baldwin, not Drake Baldwin, because he can hit the ball and he has some power. Let's take a look at some of the pitching highlights from yesterday's games. Jacob Lopez for the Athletics put up a 10 strikeout effort across 7 2/3 innings against the Nationals. He scattered just 3 hits with no walks. And I'll tell you what, Jacob Lopez has not allowed a run over his last 3 starts, spanning 17 innings. And during that time, he's posted 19 strikeouts and 6 walks. So Jacob Lopez has been on quite the heater over his last trio of games. Now, before that trio of games, he gave up 5 runs, but it's been good since then. Shane Smith, second game back from injury, struck out 8 batters over 5 innings, allowing 2 earned runs. His first 2 games back from the injured list, he's thrown 9 1/3 innings, allowed 4 earned runs with 12 strikeouts and 5 walks. So Shane Smith putting up a good outing in his second game back from the injured list. Logan Gilbert went 5 innings against the White Sox. He allowed a run on 2 hits and 3 walks while striking out 8. The damage came on a solo shot by Michael A. Taylor. But Gilbert he's just so good, man. Over his last 15 starts, he's struck out 110 batters through 76 1/3 innings with a 3.54 ERA. And Gilbert, we know he's good. Shouldn't be shocking, but he's just doing great. And those strikeout numbers are fantastic. Speaking of really good pitchers, as we like to say at Pitcher List, ace is gonna ace. That's what Paul Skeens did. Paul Skeens fired 6 shutout innings against the Reds without walking anybody and striking out 8, lowering his season ERA to 1.94. That dude is unreal on so many levels. Yuri Perez got lit up a little bit. 5 runs over 5 1/3 innings. This came on the strength of 3 home runs allowed. 2 of them came in the first inning, 1 to Drake Baldwin, 1 to Marcelo Zuna. The final came in the 6th inning that he didn't finish. That one was also to Drake Baldwin, who had 2 home runs on the game. But Yuri Perez, 5 runs in 5 1/3. This is the first time he's allowed a home run since July 8th. So it's been almost a month. Home runs, obviously not an issue, just didn't have his stuff, I guess, and they had him figured out. He hasn't allowed more than 2 runs since his final start in June, which was June 27th. So he's looked like he was back and looked like the Yuri Perez we all know and love. Just not his day, I guess. And Drake Baldwin had his number, which, again, Rake Baldwin, man, that's what he's going to do. One reliever I do want to mention, just remember the name for next season, whether it's for bullpen work or potentially rotation work. Grant Taylor. He was all the rage in dynasty leagues, and I think even during spring training, probably some redraft radars, because he's just so nasty. He's in a relief role right now for the White Sox. I think they haven't given up on him as a rotation guy. I think they just wanted him to get some MLB innings. And he struck out 2 and walked 2 in his shutout inning in yesterday's games. But he's got 24 strikeouts in 18 innings with a 4 ERA over his last 15 outings. His stuff is just nasty. He's getting the strikeouts. This is good experience for him. And if he does hold down a rotation spot next year, he is going to be definitely somebody to keep an eye on. So Grant Taylor looking great out of the bullpen, but I think is going to be a little bit more than that as we move towards the future. With that, we're going to take a quick timeout right now. When we return, we will look at some of the games coming up today. There's more than 4, I can tell you that. All that's coming up in just a moment. We're going to take a quick timeout. This is the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. And welcome back to the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List. My name is Trevor Hooth. Always happy to have you here with me. Thanks so much for listening. And we've talked news. We've talked hitters from yesterday. We've talked pitchers from yesterday. Now, let's take a look at some of the matchups coming up today. Chase Burns against the Pirates should be fun. Mitch Keller's on the other side of that matchup. But prior to the 1-inning outing last time out for Chase Burns, where he struck out 2, by the way, just 1 perfect inning, struck out 2. Burns rattled off 3 straight 10 strikeout games prior to that 1-inning outing. So no matter what, he's generating whiffs and he's getting strikeouts, giving up a lot of runs. ERA is high, but the rest is going to come. And of course, it's a good matchup against the Pirates. But man, he is so much fun when he can get those strikeout pitches working. So Chase Burns, bright future. That's all you can say about it. Tarek Skubal will be taking on the Angels, and obviously, it's always good to if you have Skubal to put him in your lineup, and if you don't have Skubal, well, you don't have Skubal, one of the best pitchers we have. I'm only mentioning this because I personally will be in attendance for that game, and I am beyond pumped to see Tarek Skubal. That's all. That's all I got for you. All right. The Giants starter is listed as TBD in theory. It's going to be Kaiwei Tang's turn in the rotation. And after his last time out, which wasn't a great outing, it was said that they expect him to get another outing. But it just maybe I'm overthinking this, but it just seems a little odd that he wouldn't be listed. He's on the 26-man roster. This is his spot in the rotation. So maybe something else is going to happen. I have not seen any news to the contrary that it's going to be Tang, but that may come out as things move along today. So keep an eye on who the Giants starter is. I'm wondering if maybe I don't know, maybe Birdsong. Blade Tidwell just threw recently, so it wouldn't be him. They may have some options. They may have some ideas, but it is listed as TBD. Theoretically, it's going to be Kaiwei Tang, but who knows what's going to happen. And finally, the matchup of the day. I mean, just for nostalgia's sake, Max Scherzer versus Clayton Kershaw. If somehow Justin Verlander is going to start in that game as well, and you have three starters, I mean, that's just nostalgia to the max right there. At one point in time, this was appointment viewing. At one point in time, but you got to love nostalgia. So that's why that's my matchup of the day. I have no better reason. I don't know. It could be fun. Kershaw's been better than I thought he would be coming back from the IL, and Scherzer's had his moments as well. I would not expect it to go as well for Scherzer as Kershaw, but anything can happen. This is baseball. With that, though, I appreciate you listening, and I will see you guys tomorrow. This has been another edition of the First Pitch Podcast on Pitcher List.